They shouldn't have closed down the PKTT. I was not going to be bothered. But I was minding my business in KZ, and they closed the unit in the province. So that made me to start asking questions until I ended up knowing what's happening in Gauteng. If they didn't close the unit, I was not going to know what's happening in Gauteng. But thanks that they brought it to my attention.
And then Ziyakala Manje.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're into real-life crime stories, corruption exposes, and deep dives into the justice systems, you're in the right place. Today we unpack a developing case that could expose cracks deep within the law enforcement itself. But before we continue, this is a developing story and new details may emerge over time. It all began earlier this month in Pretoria. Police officers descended on Nkosi's home in Dorandia during a targeted raid. What they found inside was enough to raise serious questions. 7 firearms, state-issued ammunition, and 6 official police dockets linked to serious crimes like cash in transit, robberies, and hijackings. But it gets worse. Some of these weapons were allegedly not stored according to the law. A revolver was found hidden between mattresses. Another rifle, an R5, was discovered under a bed, and a 9mm pistol found inside a car. For a trained police officer, these are not small mistakes, they are major violations.
When authorities pounced on Sergeant Fannie Nkosi's house, they found 7 licensed firearms that belonged to him. 4 in a safe, 1 in between a mattress, another under his bed, and another in his car. Also found were 6 dockets, 5 originals, and 1 copy.
The 6 dockets, it's CIT robberies, 1 that happened in Roodepoort, 1 in Musina, Limpopo, 2 other car hijacking cases. So most of the dockets, all of them actually, it pertains to serious and violent crime. And then upon further investigation, what we found is that all these 6 dockets, when you look at the system, they are closed as undetected. So through investigation, when you close a docket as undetected, it means you cannot find any links, there's no new information, and the case is then closed as undetected, it is archived. So when a case is, when a docket is archived, it is not allowed to be in a possession of an investigating officer. So it should be in a storage facility at that particular police station.
Well, police have now deployed teams to various police stations where those dockets were registered to ascertain how he got hold of those dockets and if he had any hand in those cases.
But this case didn't just come out of nowhere. Nkosi had already been under the spotlight after testifying at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, a special investigation linked to corruption and criminal networks. This task team was established under President Cyril Ramaphosa to investigate serious allegations involving law enforcement. During that commission, Nkosi was accused of acting as a middleman, a link between alleged crime bosses and senior police officials. Names like Vusiket Matlala and Katiso KT Molefe surfaced. Even high-ranking officers were mentioned. Now suddenly, Nkosi himself is the one in handcuffs. But here's the twist. The charges he faces right now are not directly from his testimony. Instead, they stem from what police found in his home.
Mr. Lekukela, and you confirmed yesterday that Mr. Lekukela had been an official in the Tshwane municipality and then he moved to the Rustenburg municipality.
Yes, I confirm.
Now, it's a matter of public record that DJ Somebody was murdered on 20 November 2022. 20 November 22. And you may or may not know the date, but I can assure you that was the date.
That's correct.
Can I take you to page 683? File 2. You have the page?
That is 683.
683, yes.
That's correct.
And you'll see that at chat 4 at 11, on 23 November, that's 3 days after DJ Somebody's murder, at 4:53 p.m., you sent Mr. Lekukela a photograph. Do you remember what that photograph was?
Yes.
And can you describe the people in the photograph?
It's Mr. Lekukela and DJ Somebody.
So it's Mr. Lekukela and DJ Somebody, and the caption that you put on your message is, "Why didn't you call him to order?" You see that?
That's correct.
Now, for what did DJ Somebody need to be called to order? What had he done wrong that needed him to be called to order?
I don't know. I can't remember what was this. Why didn't you call him to order? Was relating to, as in when he responded, I didn't know. I can't remember that.
Well, Sergeant, I can't accept that answer. I think you do know, at least from second-hand reports, what, and I'm not suggesting that you had personal knowledge, but what reports have you received in relation to what DJ Somebody did wrong that got him murdered?
I would not comment on the DJ Somebody's murder. Here, it was on this basis of the picture that I sent to Mr. Lekukela, and then I've uttered these words.
You see, when you sent, why didn't you call him to order? Were you not suggesting that if Mr. Lekukela had called DJ Somebody to order, had told DJ Somebody to stop doing what he was doing, DJ Somebody may still be alive? Isn't that what your message was saying?
No, and commissioners, I will not appreciate when you associate me with knowing what was or what happened with DJ Somebody or what might be the cause. Based on what I've wrote here, why didn't you call him to order? It had nothing to do with anything.
Well, what did you mean by saying, why didn't you call him to order?
As I said, that I can't recall clearly what was the conversation all about.
Well, look at it now. Why would you say, well, let me take a step back. Were DJ Somebody and Mr. Lekukela friends?
That's correct.
Why would you say to the friend of a man who has just been murdered, why didn't you call him to order?
Nkosi appeared before the Pretoria North Magistrate Court, and things got tense quickly. He's facing multiple charges including theft, possession of ammunition, failing to safeguard firearms, defeating the ends of justice. The state made it clear they are opposing the bail, but Nkosi is pushing back. In court, he described the case against him as weak and fabricated. He insists all firearms were licensed, everything was properly stored, the dockets were part of his official duties. He even revealed his personal finances, earning about 16,500 per month. Nkosi told the court he can afford 10,000 bail, but prosecutors weren't convinced. Then came one of the most chilling moments in court. Nkosi made a desperate plea. He said he feared for his life behind bars. He even told the court he hadn't eaten since his arrest, out of fear. His legal team tried to convince the magistrates to keep him at the police station instead of prison. But the law is clear. Detainees can't stay in police holding cells for extended periods. The court gave him two options: a single cell or the hospital wing at Kgosi Mampuru's prison. Nkosi chose the hospital wing.
By merely saying that the person is diabetic, that does not justify being admitted in hospital. And also, my other concern is he says he's afraid of being poisoned. If he's afraid of being poisoned, whether his hospital wing or general prison population, and I don't see where that is stemming from. I'm not sure if that is the right order that my colleague made, and I'm not inclined to make such an order. Placement of a prisoner in a prison hospital wing is reserved for detainees who require medical treatment, observation, or nursing care. It is not designed for function as a form of protective custody in the absence of any medical necessity. And for me to say, because he's diabetic, now I'm saying that he must be admitted, that will be unfair to the prison authorities. They are mandated to make sure that everyone in their care is taken care of and they are safe. They will exercise their discretion there to ensure his safety. I'm not going to make an order that he be kept in the hospital wing. They will make sure that he is taken care of, that he is safe, and I cannot find any reason, any substantial reason why I must say that he has to stay in the hospital wing. He will stay in the general population. They will ensure his safety, like they have to ensure the safety of each and every detainee in their custody. I am not going to micromanage the prison and say somebody must go here or somebody must go there. They will assess the need, they will assess the possibility, and they will make their own decision. Right, your case is remanded until the 20th of April 2025 in this court. It is for us to continue with your formal bail application. You'll be kept in custody until then.
Let's break down what makes this case so serious. Police say some firearms were not stored legally. State-issued ammunition was still in his possession even after suspension. And most concerning, sensitive case dockets were found in his home. These weren't just random files. They were linked to violent crimes that had already been closed and archived. Under normal procedures, those dockets should never leave official police storage. So why were they in Nkosi's possession? That's one of the biggest questions investigators are now trying to answer. Nkosi remains in custody as the court prepares to hear his full bail application. The National Prosecuting Authority is building its case, and the Madlanga task team continues its broader investigation. This could be just the beginning, because if Nkosi's alleged role as a middleman is proven, it may expose something much bigger, a network of corruption inside law enforcement itself.